Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dakar City episode. So in this one we're going to be building up a Dakar Cargo kind of freight port attached to the airport. So of course this is just going to be for anything that's being flown in to Dakar City. So we're starting out with a really large open area, kind of really big concrete area really. And what we're going to have on this is going to have a couple different warehouses. So yeah, just building up the basic design now for a warehouse and then copying that all the way back and also tripling it, because what I kept on seeing at Heathrow was this kind of design of where you've got this kind of roof design and then you've got multiples of those going back. Makes for a really large area going on there. Just adding on the front of that there as well and putting in a couple different places like kind of like walkway there, that's the green bit you've got there, and also putting in these kind of bays, I guess is the best way to describe them, for our planes. So coming back onto the building, just putting in a couple windows, letting some natural light into these. This is because it is very dark in there. I also put in some skylights as well a little bit later on. Now we've got a little bit of a road here, and I used the light grey concrete powder for this. It just gave us a different kind of grey look that separated it out from the kind of stony look that we've got there, and we've also got cyan terracotta as well on the actual runway. So using different greys to kind of show different things was really quite important with this one. Now coming around again to that side, we need ways to get into the building. So I've just been putting in here like that little walkway. This actually has some stairs going up as well, putting in a little bit of branding there for Dakar Cargo. Of course, we need to have that in there. And then just around the side here, just putting in some little kind of ways into the actual warehouses. So doing them with varying different sizes, putting in some ramps, things like that. You know, really vary your builds, guys. When you've got buildings like this, it's really important to have a look at the little details. Those are what are going to make it different. Now what I also want to do with this one, guys, is make a headquarters for Dakar Cargo Freight, so the actual airliner kind of side of things of Dakar Cargo, so looking after the fleet and marketing, those kind of things, customer support for anything, that's what we actually need here. So I thought this would be really cool to add to the end of the building, and yeah, I went with quite a modern looking design, lots of open windows. This gives you such a cool view as well on the top floor over the full kind of cargo terminal. I really love it. Now around to the back side of this is where we're going to have all of the vans and all of the lorries unloading things, because we've got the other side where we're loading up the planes. Now don't be afraid with these older buildings, and what I kept on seeing in pictures and reference pictures is, you know, buildings do change over time, they do add bits on, so I decided to add this chunk onto the side here as like a little bit of an extension. And of course we need a way to get into the or get onto those roads, so this is going to be a little security gate that we've got on the side there with a nice wall. Now onto this backside, using a similar technique to what we did onto the plane side, and just adding in these, you know, little garages, little ways in, really variating them, so all of the different doors are totally different, and yeah, it's quite cool. Same with the bays as well, and variating different vehicles. So I actually built 5 different vehicles for this one for the Dakar Cargo fleet. And around to the side here, just putting in some parking bays, because you know, this is a really good place to actually park up some of our delivery vans that we've got in Dakar Cargo. So getting off your stuff from those planes and getting it straight to your door. So I thought, you know, we need some parking for this. And talking of parking, we're going around to the headquarters now, and you know, putting in a car park. Now I didn't want to just have like a block car park with just loads of spaces and just make it really big. What I wanted to do instead is make it a bit shapely, you know, have some corners on it, have some rounded corners on and there, and actually, you know, put in some other stuff as well, some plants, and just having that as the actual border. So you can see me just putting in that there. And of course, having in some disabled spaces as well. Make sure you don't forget those in your car parks. Always put in some disabled spaces. And then around to the side here, I actually thought, you know what, we're going to have a little cafeteria at the bottom of this Dakar Cargo headquarters, and I wanted a little sitting area on the outside. There's just this perfect little place here that I could then put in some planters and things like that. So working in some trees, always, you know, try to put in some trees, especially when you've got industrial areas. If you can, if there's a natural place to put them in, do put them in. It will really make that area pop, and it also acts as kind of like a bit of a separator between that harsh industrial kind of greys, and then puts in some greens, and it just lightens it up quite nicely. So here we go, guys. This is the finished build for this episode. So far I've got an A321 and A320. I need to expand the Dakr Cargo fleet and do those different liveries. We've got, I put a little van outside on this one as well, just on the plane side. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So we've actually got 5 spaces on this side. We're going to have more spaces on the other as we expand, because this is kind of almost like a part 1, and we will expand it a little bit more. Going over to that gate, I love how that all turned out, and then look at all of these like lorries and vans and stuff. And also, guys, I put in some people, so I actually saw this on another YouTuber's channel, so big shout out to Crafty Fox MC. It just makes it like pop, really, doesn't it? You've got actual people walking around here and just doing their normal day jobs. It just adds a bit more. Then of course we've got the headquarters and also that car park. So I love how this one turned out, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, but make sure to comment, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.